Hey you guys, it is really cold out there, and George is right here being a distraction. So somebody asked about making a video for collecting scionwood, and so now with the massive freeze coming, it's not just collecting scionwood, it is preserving life. And this beautiful thing about plants is that we can propagate them vegetatively. Just made the video on fig cuttings, it's so appropriate, but now is the time to, if we don't claim, protect these plants, we could lose a lot of them completely. And so what I've been doing is I've been going around to the fig trees and just cleaning off the top of them of all the good scionwood, not just scionwood, but potential cuttings. So all of these tips, when you want to take a really good cutting, this green vegetative tip is just super helpful, important. It's ready to go as soon as it feels there's roots underneath it. So a good 6 to 8 incher like that, that's what you want to take for preserving your figs. Also, these can be stored in the fridge just in bags like this for months and then still root as cuttings. So it's just about storing and preserving plant material at this point. And so not only figs, but I want you to think about any of the trees, any tree that you're going to potentially lose completely or lose the top of is one where you might want to preserve some scionwood. Now citrus, you can't just root a cutting of most citrus. Some like Meyer lemon are reasonable, there's some hardier rootstocks, but in general, you're collecting scionwood for regrowth from that base. And it's huge because if we lose the trees all the way down past the graft union, we've lost the scion, we lost the top. And so what's going to come back out of your base of that tree is just probably going to be trifoliate or some other rootstock, citrange. So preserving scionwood of citrus is something, if you're comfortable grafting or even ready to experiment, that's something I would recommend as well. So here's where my citrus is at. There are already some buds that have started to expand. If you see that one right there, I'm not sure if it's able to focus or not. So that one is not ideal. You want to get your citrus a little bit more dormant, like this one right there. That is a perfect bud. I could, T-bud and slip that in, or probably with such good new growth from the rootstock, it's going to be a lot of just cleft grafts, whipping tongue onto tender new growth. So that bud right there could be a whole new tree in just 1 year. So this is a honey mandarin, Murcott honey mandarin. And so I'm just going to set aside some of this wood in a little baggie, keeping it labeled. And when you want to preserve citrus, you're usually only doing smaller sections, so 5 inches is plenty. You just want to take off all of the leaves, leaving, if you're doing T-budding, you want to leave a little handle. So you see that little handle right there? That's really important for holding on to if you're just using it as a T-bud. So that is what a few of those in a baggie, and you could easily have your orchard back up and running in no time. So that's huge right there. Just make sure to keep everything labeled and organized, and also make sure to sterilize your pruners between each tree. There's a lot of, everything's gonna die. Maybe not as important this one, but try and keep your scionwood sterilized as much as possible. And then one last thing I want you guys to be thinking about is all of these subtropical herbaceous layer stuff. So like hey George, all of our perennials like Turkscap, Bottlebrush, my big sweet almond Verbena, all that stuff's probably going to the ground as well. And so it's super easy to propagate almost all of those. They're all really similar. I just grabbed some, this is a red giant Turkscap, and already, because we've had so much warm weather, like 70-degree days, even 80s, it's already burst out, been frozen, and still going again. So a cutting you would want for almost all of them, like Bottlebrush, the ones I mentioned that are kind of woody, it's semi-hardwood is ideal. See how there's a little bit of green here? A little bit of green, but also a little bit of a more woody stem. And anything with good buds is going to be great. So for these, you could do 6 inches, or you could do 4 inches, as long as you have one of these nodes with good leaves up near the top, and as long as you have a node or two underneath, you could do it small. I could root that. Just stick that in a pot of soil, keep it from freezing hard, and then keep it in the shade, and you might have your plants back in no time. So that's the gist of it. It really feels to me a lot like a Noah's Ark kind of energy. It's something where we can, take it as this like, frantic, death, everything is about to die and we're gonna lose everything. But really it's more about, showing us or teaching us to choose our connections and really be conscious about what our garden, what our lives are gonna look like. What do we preserve? Because now we have to be conscious about what we preserve or we lose it. We've been unconscious too long in this collective energy, and now it's a return to the gardens, a return to connection. So get out there and choose which plants you're going to connect with, you're going to preserve, choose the life you want to create, and good luck in the garden. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.